through this.
It's the graveyard shift in the ECC. A dispatcher leans back after another successful call and takes a big sip of coffee, when suddenly the lights flicker, screens blink, and CAD freezes. And then boom. Total darkness and silence. Then the generator kicks in, emergency lighting comes on, and then, welcome to Dispatch in the Dark, when the network goes bump in the night.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Happy Halloween and welcome to TiPS. Today in Public Safety. This is Fletch, I'm an ENA certified ENP, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I bring you the latest, most informative, and sometimes controversial takes on emergency communications. Today we're taking a dive straight into the dark, literally. It's Dispatch in the Dark when the network goes bump in the night. A story about resiliency, backup, routing, and the calm professionalism that keeps 911 running even when everything else goes down. The midnight outage. It always starts the same way. That tiny little flicker in the overhead lights that nobody really notices until it's too late. Then everything goes black, the HVAC sighs to a stop, and the only illumination is that ghostly glow from the emergency exit lights. Now, if you've ever worked nights in the comm center, you know that moment. The one where your stomach drops faster than your network connection. We depend on electricity, databases, and connectivity like oxygen. But it only takes one cascading failure to test every assumption that you ever made about system design. Power feeds, fiber trunks, routers, CAD servers, every link is part of the same heartbeat. And when one flatlines, the others start gasping. But here's the thing, resilience isn't magic. It's engineering. It's design. It's practice. And when it goes dark, recovery isn't luck, it's planning. Redundancy. It's not just a buzzword. So let's talk about redundancy for a second. Not the kind in your email inbox, the kind that keeps people alive. In a real-world example, a Florida ECC lost its main fiber ring in a lightning strike. Within 8 seconds, the system automatically rerouted and brought up the LTE backup. 8 seconds. No screaming, no chaos, just a dispatcher saying, "Huh, that was kind of weird," and then continued to take calls. But it wasn't luck. It was design built around multiple independent paths. Power redundancy, UPS to generator to grid. Network redundancy, double the ISPs on different carriers and different poles. Then there's application redundancy. Make sure your CAD is mirrored with a hot standby. That way the second one server sneezes, the other one picks up the path right away. You see, true resilience means that your system has an escape plan when cyber creeps in. Those are great tips, but not every outage is caused by weather or clumsy squirrels that are chewing fiber. Sometimes the lights go out because somebody wanted them to go out. Cyberattacks are the digital version of a haunted house. Invisible doors creaking open in your network while you sleep. Ransomware, DDoS attacks, credential poisoning. It doesn't matter, pick your flavor of nightmare. So what's the best defense? Segmentation, monitoring, and most importantly, the ability to isolate and reroute traffic faster than a hacker can type. One PSAP that I know of built an air-gapped failover system. When the primary environment detected an intrusion, it instantly cut over to the backup, like pulling the fire alarm and teleporting to safety all at the same time. This is when the attacker thinks that they've taken you down successfully, but your backup site is there to answer the next 911 call. That's the public safety version of a jump scare. Dispatchers in the dark. Technology may flicker, but people don't. You can ask any dispatcher, when the CAD dies, that's when the paper logs come out. Radios take center stage, and then muscle memory takes over. Sure, we lose all the fancy toys, but we never lose the mission. Heck, I know of dispatchers that manually dispatch units, track calls on sticky notes, and even use flashlights and maps to keep track of incidents during a full power loss. No complaints, no panic, just quiet confidence and a little gallows humor. When you can't rely on automation, good dispatchers rely on instinct. And that's something that no outage, no cyber attack, and no flickering fluorescent bulb could ever take away. Lessons from the shadows. Every dark moment in dispatch teaches a sample lesson. If you build your systems to survive in the light, they're going to fail in the dark. The most important thing is to design your network with no single point of failure. Separate your power, your ISPs, your routers, your clouds, and when you test them like you mean it. Remember that tabletop drills aren't just paperwork, they're survival training. Resilience isn't about avoiding the dark, it's about knowing how to light your own way out of it. So the next time your center runs a midnight failover test, don't roll your eyes. Smile, because you're proving that when the world goes dark, you don't. That wraps up today's episode of TiPS, Today in Public Safety. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you learned something new. For more updates and insights, you can follow me on social media at Fletch911. You can visit 911tips.com, where you'll find a complete archive of all of our previous episodes, and my longer form blogs are available at fletch.tv. And you can check out my professional website at fletch911.com. Stay safe, and thanks so much for listening. And if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every single day. Happy Halloween, and I'll catch you next time.
You've been listening to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on 911tips.com. That's 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10